the Green Bay Packers get a big win over the Jacksonville Jaguars today, but let's be honest, this game was more lopsided than you could ever possibly hope to imagine. I mean, they got out to a 10-0 lead. They get up to 13-3, and then it's 13-10 going into halftime. They give it a touchdown right away in the second. Then they get another touchdown and a turnover, and now it's 27-10 or 17. Then it's 27-27, and eventually the Packers win at the end off the leg of Brandon McManus. But big things to take care of before going into the next week's huge matchup against the Lions. I mean, the Lions absolutely took care of business today, beating and just destroying the Tennessee Titans. I mean, you thought the Packers took apart the Tennessee Titans. The Lions destroyed them. Goff didn't even have 100 yards, but he still had 3 touchdowns, and they were just on fire once again. The Lions are looking great going into next week's matchup against the Packers. The Packers have to be ready, but who knows how ready they'll actually be, because Jordan Love went down today. Jaire Alexander got hurt towards the end of the game. Jacobs looked a little kind of winded, a little woozy at the end of the game, so hopefully he should be good to go. But several things, or a couple players, big name players, got hurt in this game, and they're going to need to be ready next week because, boy, they're 6-2, but it's not a very convincing 6-2, to be honest. I mean, Packers should have gone away with the game today, but they just didn't. But they still won, so let's break it down. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and let's get to it. Jordan Love, of course, went out with the groin injury late in the third quarter, but he also kind of tweaked his knee early on in his first quarter. He had some good throws today for sure, some classic Jordan Love throws, but again, he looked like Brett Favre at times because that turnover that he had within the 10-yard line is unacceptable. Yes, the Jaguars made a great play on the ball. For sure, they made a great play. But that's a typical Brett Favre interception right there, if I've ever seen one. And Jordan Love didn't have any touchdowns today. So how are they going to get a lot of the scoring? Well, the running game's going to have to pick up the slack, and Malik Willis as well. But Jordan Love, hopefully the groin injury isn't too serious. Hopefully his knee will be ready for next week because, yes, Malik Willis made some good plays today, but to say I am concerned going into next week with the potential of Malik Willis starting against the Detroit Lions would be an understatement. Again, I will be at that game, so again, expect videos to be coming along during the game and coverage after, but to say I feel less confident going into the Lions game than I did before this game would be an understatement. I'm really not feeling confident about the Packers' chances because, yes, they won, but this game should have been a beatdown, especially with the way they started. I mean, their defense got after the Jaguars. They didn't cause any sacks or anything, which, again, should have been able to have a couple more sacks today. I mean, come on. The Jaguars aren't great. Their offensive line is great. They lost Brandon Scherf for the game, so that certainly doesn't help. But Trevor Lawrence was able to make it happen after his one terrible interception they made where Xavier Mckinney didn't even have to move. He literally just sat on his butt, just moved just slightly to the left, picked it off, and then the Packers were back in business, and as a result, went up 10-0. So that was big, but they had a couple other big plays as well, but by all intents and purposes, after that first quarter, you would have thought, or at that point, the Jaguars still had no first downs. They only had like a little under 30 yards total, but then all of a sudden, Packers kick a field goal, and then the very next drive, Trevor Lawrence just lighting the Packers up, getting guys wide open. Brian Thomas is getting open like nobody's business, again, showing why he's one of the great young wide receivers in the league, and they score. And again, it's like, as a Packer fan, you're wondering, like, where did that happen? Where did that go? What happened? The Packers were totally in control, but then they just blow it up. Then we get to halftime. It's 13-10. Packers, are feeling a little concerned. Then we get to the third quarter. Well, like I said earlier, the Jaguars went down the line, picked up right where they went off. Well, they they did not pick up right where they went out because they went 3-0. But then the Packers weren't able to do anything. And then Jordan Love gets injured, which was really bad. And for a while, it's like, oh my gosh, the Packers are going to lose to the Jaguars. Proving again that the Packers just don't play well in Florida. And again, they didn't play really well in Florida. But then in comes Malik Willis. Now, Malik Willis didn't have to do all that much, but he made some beautiful throws today. He made some good running plays for sure. He's definitely lighter on his feet than Jordan Love. If you're going to say anything really good about Malik Willis, he can move on his feet like better than a lot of people in the league, and he can move out of the pocket like anybody, or more than anybody else in the league as well. And he's got a decent arm too. He made an awesome throw at the end of the game to Jaden Reed to really help secure the Packers win. I mean, it was just a thing of beauty. But then the Packers defense were able to cause a fumble, and they were able to score a touchdown as well. Josh Jacobs had 2 touchdowns today. He had a really nice 38-yard run today he just juked. I forgot who the Jaguars defender was, but he totally juked him out of his shoes for a 38-yard run. And then it's 27-17. The Packers look like they're in control. They look like they're in control again. But then the Jaguars come back. They get a field goal. Still, Trevor Lawrence is dicing up the Packers defense. Then they lose Christian Kirk. As soon as Christian Kirk hit the ground, you knew his shoulder out. It was out. And he immediately was taken to the locker room, ruled out almost instantly. And then Brian Thomas goes down with a chest injury. And it's like, oh my God, they don't have anybody to throw to. But then it's fine. Oh, Brandon Strange is wide open. Evan Engram is wide open. A couple other guys are wide open. And the Jags are able to bring it down to the 2-minute yard line, to the 2-minute mark, and they're able to score a beautiful touchdown in between 3 defenders to Evan Engram. And then you see Jaire Alexander go out, and he's limping. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he just tweaked it a little bit and he'll be ready to go. But then it's like 27-27, like a minute 48 left, and you're wondering, like, yes, Malik Willis has made some nice plays, but can he lead them down the field? But then they gave it to Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs, the running game really opened up once Jordan Love went out, which is really nice to see. But it would have been nicer had that running been going a little bit more going early in the game. I don't know what it was today. They can't run the ball when Jordan Love is out there making plays. But then as soon as he goes out, then the running game just picks up, and they have a bunch of really nice plays. And then, like I said, Malik Willis, there's an absolute gorgeous pass to a wide open Jaden Reed. He gets to like the 10-yard line, and then all the Packers have to do is just run the clock out. Point of emphasis to the Packers running back, or their running back Brooks. He could have easily ran in for the touchdown, but he had enough game sense to, after scoring or getting the first down, he kind of slows up and then he falls down. And then it removes the Jaguars' last timeout. There's still 48 seconds left. All they have to do is just run a couple times, get to where exactly Brandon McManus needs it, and he kicks it. That's another good thing for the Packers, you can say. Brandon McManus, after coming off the street last week, he's been great. He's been truly great. I mean, compare him to Brandon Narvson and, Anders Carlson before him. With Carlson and Narvson, you always had to worry about left, right. But with Brandon McManus, it's like right down the middle just about every time. He hasn't had to make any really big, he's had to make 2 big kicks the past 2 weeks, but he hasn't had to make any like severely long kicks or anything like that, which is where Brandon McManus starts to kind of fall off as a kicker. But he's been solid. He's kicked it right down the middle, right where he need to be. Never had any concern at all about him missing it all. And the Packers come away with a 30-27 lead win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you thought the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to make a comeback, their next 5 teams are all 4 games above 500, and the Jaguars could very well, after the next month, be 2-10 or something like that. So, not a good future schedule for the Jaguars. And the Packers, they have one more game before they go into the bye week, and it could not be bigger. Like I said earlier, the Lions have been firing in all cylinders. Jahmyr Gibbs is great. David Montgomery is great. They have 2 great running backs. They have a couple of great wide receivers. And even though Jameson Williams was out there, they didn't miss a beat. They did not miss a beat. Laporta had a touchdown today. Amon-Ra had a nice touchdown today. They got their special teams involved with a punt return for Khalif Raymond. And the Lions have just been great. Even though Aiden Hutchinson has been out, their defense seems to not have missed a beat at all. And going into Green Bay, I would definitely pick the Lions as a favorite right now. Probably a 3-point favorite right now as it stands. But man, we're not going to really know more so until towards the end of the week when finally get the final injury report. I would expect Jordan Love to play. Right now, I would. Sure, it's a quad injury, so you don't know how bad it is. And quad injuries can be notoriously hard to handle with, and they just take a long time to recover from. Who knows what's going on with Jaire Alexander, so hopefully he'll be fine. I'm sure Josh Jacobs will be fine, ready to go next week, but man, Packers get the win, but it's not the easiest win for sure. It definitely took a lot of strong work and elbow grease, especially with the defense. I mean, they had made some nice plays and a couple turnovers that really helped stem the tide and keep the Packers in it, and they definitely were able to get a couple of leads and stay ahead. But their defense at times today looked terrible. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was just carving up the Packers defense like a Thanksgiving turkey, and it was just all you can say is just why he's wide open. No one's understanding the zone. Edrin Cooper had a couple of good plays today for sure, and hopefully in the future we see him start more, because honestly I think he has a bigger future than Quay Walker. I still like Quay Walker. I still think he has the ability, but for Cooper, if he's able to keep playing like this, who knows? He might take more and more reps from Quay Walker as it keeps going on. But Packers get the win, so that's the most important thing. The Packers get the win. They sweep the AFC South. They're 4-0 against the AFC this year, which is the first time they've done that in a while. I can't remember the last time the Brewers swept their AFC division that they played during this year. So that's definitely nice to see, but a lot of things to work on for sure. Jeff Hafley, I mean, gotta get better. I mean, you can't start out like you did in the first quarter and then just get absolutely torn up the last 3 quarters. I mean, you made Trevor Lawrence look like the quarterback everybody thought he was going to be, and just can't happen. Gotta be better. Got the pass rush, just again, last week it was really good. This week there was absolutely no pass rush to speak of whatsoever. I think they had 1 sack the whole game, that sack and fumble of Trevor Lawrence, but man, things got to get better. Definitely a good win for sure. Most importantly, again, the win is the most important thing, but a couple big injuries could make next week's game against the Lions a lot harder than we would have thought going into it. But Packers win. Let me know what you think down below. There will be a pull-up as always. Well, one of the biggest reason why the Packers win today. I'm not sure which options I'm going to put down there, but let me know what you think. Have a great day, and as always, go Pack Go, and God bless.